Have you ever been curious about muscles? Building them, maintaining them, and why you don't have any? Just kidding. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to go from Captain America before the super soldier serum, try saying that 5 times fast, I'm not doing it, to Captain America afterwards. So if you're ready to learn a little bit more about muscles, stay tuned. Fit fam, to another amazing video with your host Lucky, aka your favorite fitness coach. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Lucky of Lucky Lifestyle. To all of my returning viewers, I appreciate the support and welcome back to another fun-filled, value-packed video. Today we're going to be talking about muscles, how to build them, how to keep them, the functions of muscles, and everything in between. So let's start off with the function of a muscle. Muscles actually only have 2 functions. The first function is, of course, to contract. Now, you can think about contraction as, say, for instance, you're doing a bicep curl. You're starting in the extended position here, and then you pull the weight towards you. That is the muscle contracting. That is the first function of a muscle. The second function of a muscle is to release. It's using the same concept of the bicep curl. This would be you returning the weight back down to its starting position. Now, these 2 movements are called concentric, which means with consent, of course. Concentric movement is when you're actually moving the weight. So say if you're doing a bench press, concentric, eccentric. Eccentric is when you're going to be going back to the starting position of the exercise. These are the only 2 functions that the muscle has: to contract and go back to starting position, or the concentric movement and the eccentric movement. Hope you guys are still with me on that. Second thing we're going to talk about today is muscle building. So how does it work? Let me tell you about how muscle building works. Whenever you work out the muscle, what you're essentially doing is you're making it work. But secondly, on a very, very, very microscopic level, you're creating actual very small tears inside of the muscle fibers. During exercise, this is what's going to ultimately create the growth. Because in order for you to build something new, you have to first destroy it. There's so many things that are synonymous with life and working out, and this is definitely one of them too. So if you wanted to become a newer, more refined version of yourself, you would have to first destroy this version that exists right now. The same thing happens when you are building muscle. You have to destroy it in order for it to build. Now, this isn't something that's harming your muscles unless you're just overtraining real crazy, but that's a whole different story, different for a different time. When you're creating these very small microscopic tears, it's actually a very good thing. And you're also putting your muscle under stress. If you want to build muscle, you have to challenge the muscle. This is why when you aren't using weights that are challenging you, or your exercise regimen isn't a challenge to your body, you don't get any results because it has no reason to change. The body does not like to feel weak. So when the muscles feel like they can't handle the exercise, it begins to make an adaptation, which is very cool because you can really shape your body into whatever you want. You just have to put it under a little bit of stress. Acute stress, as they call it, just a little bit. Now, when you're creating these microscopic tears in your muscle, after your workouts, the main important thing is to get rest and recovery. Getting yourself the nutrients that your body deserves in order for it to repair itself. Protein, of course, you guys, I'm sure, have heard of, especially if you know anything about weight training or talk to any person about working out. So protein is going to be the building blocks that is going to be essential for repairing those small microscopic tears that are going to be in your muscles. So when you rest, this is when your body actually grows. So something happens, your body releases what's called HGH, which is the human growth hormone. So while you're in these REM, rapid eye movement, I'm sorry if I'm using all these scientific terms. I'm a bit of a nerd, I'm sorry. So when you are during this, REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, or just say deep sleep, when you're in a deep sleep, your body is gonna be releasing this HGH and taking the fuel that you have given it and the substance that you have given it through your eating, the protein, carbs, things of that nature, and releasing this HGH to make your body stronger and repair the muscle fibers. All right, so this is why getting an adequate amount of rest is going to be pivotal when it comes to building muscle, because this is when you actually grow. This is why rest days are very important, and this is why you should never, ever, ever, ever overtrain. This is also why giving yourself at least a 48-hour time period in between training the same muscle group is going to be pivotal, because you want to give it enough time to heal itself and grow. All right, so keep that in mind. So what makes a workout effective, and what can you do in order to create more microscopic tears in that muscle? Well, I'm glad that you asked. So there's another acronym that is called TUT, which means time under tension. This just means the amount of time that your muscle is doing the actual work. This is why it's always more beneficial when you slow down doing the exercise than if you do it quickly. Because when you're doing the exercise quickly, weight training specifically, when you're weight training fast, if you're doing a bicep curl like this, there's not much time under tension. So there's not going to be many microscopic tears that are going to be occurring within that muscle, and you want to maximize that. So slow it down. So say if you do 1 to 3 tempo. Now you might not know this, but you get the most microscopic tears on the eccentric part of the exercise. You want to explode when you move it, and then on the way down, you want to create more tension during this part of the exercise by going slowly. So a 1 to 3 tempo would be like this: 1, 1, 2, 3. So by the time I get to number 3, I'm at the bottom or the starting point of the exercise. So just doing that one simple trick, slowing down your exercises, is going to help build muscle even more just with that one small change. Time under tension is a very good trick to utilize when you're trying to build some muscle. The human body has one job, and it is to keep you alive. The cool thing about the human body is it doesn't like to feel weak. So this is why if you start working out, they have this thing called beginner gains. So when you first start working out, before your body is going to start building muscle, it's actually going to start making adaptations for it to become stronger and utilize your muscles to the optimum efficiency first before it starts building them. So don't get discouraged at the beginning of your muscle building journey if you're not seeing a lot of progress at the beginning, because your body is going to use everything it has first and then build on top of that. Your body is actually very smart. It's a very interesting piece of hardware we have here, if I do say so myself. So to recap, time under tension, slow and controlled movements, 2 things that your muscles do: contract and go back to starting position. You have concentric, moving the weight or load as you would call it, and eccentric, going back to starting position. Great workouts create microscopic tears in your muscle. You grow when you sleep, so prioritize rest and recovery days. Give yourself at least 48 hours between training the same muscle group so you don't overtrain it. In order to build muscle, you must first destroy it. Hope you guys learned a lot from this brief muscle building video. Now you got a little bit more understanding of your body, how it works, and how you can begin looking like a specimen. Like me. Just kidding. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the video. Stay tuned for new videos dropping every single Saturday at 9 a.m. And always remember, small changes equal big results. Peace.